Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Colleen. Today we are going to talk about how to make small talk, even if you are an introvert. So let's get started. Good morning and welcome. So small talk, it's not superficial. Small talk actually serves a purpose. Thanks for being here. My name is Colleen Hammond. I'm a former on-camera meteorologist for the Weather Channel, turned executive image consultant, coach, and mentor. In 30 days or less, I will fill your closet with clothing that makes you look and feel like $1,000,000. You know what? The first thing I like women to do is to shop their closet. So we're not talking about spending a lot of money. So let's talk about small talk. I think we've lost the concept of communication and relationships. Good morning, Deidre and Tina. Uh, and is it because of online? Do we communicate with emojis now? Do we communicate with memes? So that when we get into a networking situation or we get in a situation where we're face to face with somebody, do we even know what to say? Or do we feel like we have to send them a text message? So we've kind of lost the art of small talk and engaging in conversations. And it's not superficial. Some people say, "Oh, small talk, it's just a bunch of hype and it's so superficial." But relationships and face-to-face relationships, we need, as human beings, we need that connection. We need that interaction. So I'm going to give you 5 tips as well as suggested things to say, what questions to ask, how to open a conversation, how to get things started, and how to just be nice. Because really that's what small talk is helping us build a foundation of a relationship, which leads to deeper relationships and deeper conversations in the future. But you have to start somewhere. So think of it as kind of the appetizer, if you will, that will lead to a main course, an entree of a deeper relationship. And if it doesn't, you can always leave that relationship there and move on to something else. But if it doesn't lead to something else, then not only have you made a friend, you may have a new business partner, you may find some common ground. So hopefully this will help you out. Not only that, when you're engaging in small talk with an absolute stranger whom you may never see again, right? But remember that when you are happy and you share your happiness with your spouse, they have an 8% chance of becoming happier. One of your dear friends has a 25% chance of becoming happier, but an absolute stranger has a 34% chance of increasing their happiness based on a positive interaction with you. So even engaging and practicing small talk on an absolute stranger in line while you're getting coffee or at the grocery store, or it doesn't have to be a networking event or a company function, but learning to practice those types of things will improve other people's lives. Good morning, Kim. Bartenders need small talk. Yeah, I'm Sarah. Sarah says, great topic. Glad to hear it. So whether you are in line for coffee, a networking event, or a company event, these tips will help you get the ball rolling, make a great impression. But just learning to exchange a few pleasantries is never going to hurt. It's never going to hurt. So number one, speaking of hurting, you have to reduce your anxiety level. Watch your self-talk when it comes to situations like this. When you go into a situation where, let's say you're going to a company function and you're going to be engaging in small talk with some people that, maybe spouses or other people in the company that you don't know, or maybe the CEO is going to be there and everyone's going to be able to meet him. Just remember that be nice, be warm, be happy, right? And here's a couple of things to kind of remind yourself that, because our self-talk can sabotage us before we even begin. So everyone needs somebody to talk to. Remind yourself, everyone needs somebody to talk to. So by you going up and talking to somebody else, they're going to be so relieved. So that's the first tip I give my clients when they're going into a networking event. Look for somebody who's standing by themselves. If someone is standing by themselves, they don't have anybody else to talk to, you don't have somebody to talk to, you just arrived, go talk to them. They'll probably be relieved that they don't have to stand there awkwardly all by themselves and they have somebody to talk to. Joanne says, I do well if I ask questions or comment first. If they ask first, I talk too much. We're coming up to that one too, Joanne. Good morning, lovelies. How's it going, Tammy? Just because you had a bad experience in the past doesn't mean this is going to be a bad experience. So watch your self-talk when it says, oh, every time, all the other times I've done this. No, erase all those past experiences. Take the tips I give you today. So the next time you get into this situation, and practice on strangers in line at the coffee shop or at the grocery store. Also, number 3, as far as your self-talk is concerned, remember your anxiety is coming from it's in here. Remember we talked about that the other day. How much time do we spend thinking about past regrets and future fears? All of your anxiety is coming from your beliefs and what you're saying to yourself, not the current situation. Good morning, Amy. Amy's back. So your anxiety is coming from between your 2 ears. So don't waste time thinking about past situations or future fears. What can you do right here and right now? So number 2 is your body language. First and foremost, smile. It just warm. Today's a new beginning, Tammy says. Absolutely. A smile will break the ice for you better than anything else. People will like you immediately. Sidebar to that, we were just talking about this the other day. Of course, you know, I have my identity theft situation that I'm dealing with right now. But I remember I had my purse stolen out of my car. Totally my fault. I live in a small town. I ran in to check my P.O. box. I looked over and I saw a woman sitting in the car, like at the other side of the parking lot. And she just kind of looked out of place. For some reason, my gut said, And she smiled, just like smiled, not hi, you know, kind of waved, her just a little happy little smile. And it lowered my guard. I went in, opened my box, closed my box, came out. In the 30 seconds, we timed it actually, I think it was like 25 seconds for what it took me to go in and come out. She got into my car, took my purse and left. But what lowered my guard was the fact that she smiled. So keep that in mind when you're engaging in small talk, is that smile. It just makes other people feel better about you already. And she stole my purse, you know, and she smiled at me and it totally lowered my guard. So remember too that smiling will release endorphins in you too, and it makes you feel better. So just a smile makes other people feel better. It makes you feel better too. And again, with your body language, watch the arms crossed with the chin down, the eyes down. That's all closing people off. So keep your arms uncrossed, even if you're holding a drink. A lot of times people will hold a drink right in front of them. That's a defense mechanism. So remember to even holding your drink, instead of holding the drink in the middle, holding it off to the side kind of opens you up a little bit. Keep your chin up and engage in eye contact. Look people in the eye, nod and smile as they're talking. You know, don't stare them down and be creepy about it, but eye contact. Did they say something thoughtful? You know, like, oh, that's interesting. You know, encourage other people to engage in the conversation. The number 3 tip is asking questions. Oftentimes we feel that we need to be entertaining. Good morning, Beth. And we don't. Oh, Amy, I'm so sorry. You're having problems with your internet. Mixes up our trust boundaries. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Sturry didn't want to make me be friendly. I know, Amy, isn't horrible. Hey, Patricia, I can't get you to work today. Bummer. Well, the recording will be amazing. Make sure you come back and watch the recording, Patricia. And make sure you share. And if you haven't shared yet, now would be a good time to share. Asking questions. When you engage in open-ended questions, it helps you find common ground with somebody else so that you can find other things that you can talk about. Because when you first meet somebody, you don't know anything about them. They don't know anything about you. And you don't know what to talk to. Or if you're at a company function, normally at work, you're talking about work things, but now you're in a social situation. What do you talk about? Work? Who wants to talk about work when they're not at work, right? So finding open-ended questions. And in the notes, if you want a copy of the notes, put me in the comment section if you're here on Facebook, if you're on my Facebook business page. If not, in the show notes or in the notes that are with this video, whether you're watching it on YouTube, my personal Facebook page, on LinkedIn, or my blog. In here, I have a link to my Facebook Messenger, and just send me a note on Facebook Messenger. I have a little piece of hair. Send me a note on Facebook Messenger, and I'll send you the link to the copy of these notes. In the copy of the notes, I have a list of questions. So, and asking those open-ended questions: who, what, when, where, and how. Avoid why. Why is is confrontational. And whenever you ask the question why to somebody that's a stranger, it kind of puts up defenses. Well, why'd you do that? So not always, but why is usually a good word to avoid. And then having follow-up questions prepared. So if you're asking somebody, hey, where are you from? Then having follow-up questions for that. Oh, I'm from, Salt Lake City. Wow, I've never been there. Oh, or I've been there. I loved. What's it like there? Do you miss it? So having those follow-up questions to a question that person has already answered is a good thing to have in your back pocket as well. How do you know the hostess, that type of thing. But I have a list of other questions in the notes, as well as creative questions that you can ask, just to have these types of questions in your pocket so that you have some conversation starters. How did you get involved? If you're in a work situation, how did you start doing this? Would you encourage other people to do what you do? Those types of things. But I give you about 5 or 6 different creative questions as conversation starters to get going. And in the show notes there, or not in the show notes, in the notes, if you ask me for the notes, I'll give you the notes to the show. It's under number 3. Number 4 is how to exit a conversation gracefully. Sometimes we don't want to get involved in a conversation because what if it's not a good conversation? What if this person all of a sudden gloms onto us? What if we are like totally bored? What if we find we really don't have a connection with this person? How do you exit gracefully from a conversation? It's just your key phrase. Excuse me, I need to take this call. I need to answer this text message. I need to call my children. I need to powder my nose. That's sign language for toilet. I need to go to the bathroom. But I really enjoyed chatting with you. I hope to catch up with you later, or here's my card, or if it's somebody that you want to stay in touch with, but maybe you want to work the room. Maybe you're at a networking event and you want to work the room. And with my clients, I teach you all the phrases to use on a networking event and really how to network, and how to work a room. But if you feel like you're stuck in a conversation, it's like, this thing, it can get you out of trouble. Like, oh, wait a minute, excuse me. I need to answer this text message. I'm so sorry. Really enjoyed chatting with you. Let's catch up later. Thanks for telling me about blah, 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 blah. And of course, using a person's name. And if you've taken my course on emotional intelligence, you have all the tricks on how to memorize people's names. Use people's names. That will break down a lot of walls too. Ending is tough for me, says Tammy. Yeah, that it is a challenge, but just remember, oops, excuse me, I need to take this text. I have to answer this text. I have to call my children. I need to go to the bathroom, powder my nose, whatever. And then saying, it was really nice chatting with you. And even if you can throw in another tidbit about something that they shared with you, thanks for telling me about your hometown, or thanks for sharing with me how you got started in your business. Let's chat later, and then you can move on. Now, if you say you're going to go to the bathroom, make sure you go to the bathroom, and then when you come back out, you can find another conversation. Or, excuse me, I need to grab something else to drink. And it was really nice chatting with you. Then make sure you go get something to drink. Don't be lying on people, right? Tammy says never why. Puts it in their head too. Stay in the heart stuff. Yeah. I'm a pro at small talk with strangers, said Tammy. That's amazing. That's amazing. So also, when you put me in the comments, make sure you follow the directions in Messenger. When it says reply to the note, don't come back to the Facebook page. Reply to the Facebook Messenger so the bot within my Facebook Messenger knows what to send you and what to do. Rick says, I always think it's terribly rude whenever somebody goes to their phone during a conversation. Yeah, but if you feel stuck and you need to get out of a situation, I use my phone as a backup, sometimes, more often than not. I'll just excuse myself from a situation. But it's extremely rude. That's why right up at the top, one of the very first tips I said is eye contact, smiling, eye contact, body language, being in the here and now, being in the moment, uh, and really in building that relationship, right? Because we're not the only person that doesn't like small talk. And that's the other thing. Sometimes we think we're the only one that doesn't like to do this. We're not the only person that doesn't like small talk. That person standing alone is so grateful that you came over and spoke with them, right? And it's not about dazzling other people with your brilliance. It's not about, it's just about being nice, being charming. And not being memorable necessarily, but I'll tell you, one way to be sure to be memorable is to remember somebody's name. So I'm going to stop this recording. We're going to continue the live discussion. I'm going to stop this recording right now for YouTube. So make sure that you are following me on YouTube. So like, comment, and share this video. Follow me here on YouTube. And in the links below, you will also see links to my other social media sites. So thanks for joining me for this talk, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks.